هلا موجودين بشوروم انفينيتي على شاطئ زايد رود بدبي كرمال حضور حفل اطلاق الكيو 50 2014 جديده. خلينا نروح نتعرف على السيارة سوا.
Yeah, I've had a great evening here tonight. I think very, very good facilities. I was amazed with the showroom here. It looks great. So yeah, and everyone's having a good time. So yeah, it's good to be here.
The brand Infiniti is about three things. It's about making cars that have the presence and prestigious design, but also have a real personality. It's about making cars that have the future of powertrains. And in the new Q50, you will find the latest evolution of our incredible direct response powertrain. This is our version of electric supercharging. The model I will show you now reaches 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in an incredible 5.1 seconds. And that with only 144 grams. It is truly the best combination of sports performance and efficiency. And the final thing that Infiniti does well is immersive technology. And in the new Q50, you will find the InTouch system, which enables you to integrate the apps from your phone into the car, and a real leap forward in terms of connectivity. We would all love to get lucky with the Q50 reveal.
We're up all night to get lucky. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some.
Because it's such a diverse place with a lot of energy, and it's great to be able to marry the energy of Formula One, the energy of Infiniti, and the energy of Red Bull together in an event like this. And I think our cooperation with Infiniti Red Bull Racing, as well as our approach as a brand, really gives us a chance to shatter a few conventions, because we're not beholden to perhaps the traditional thinking. It's also about giving our people great tools to create an amazing experience for customers, and that's the point. It's not decoration. The point of a brand is to create an experience for a customer, and that's what we're trying to do at Infiniti.
Hi, Maurice Hybe. Nice to meet you.
Yes, vanavond. Nice to meet you too. I'm a product manager for the Infiniti Q50 in EMEA region.
Today we are in the launch of the Q50. Can you tell us more about the new Q50?
Yeah, it's a very important car for us, for the brand. It's going to drive our business forward in the future, and it's actually the first of a new generation of Infiniti vehicles. So it's clearly giving the future direction in terms of design, in terms of technology, in terms of powertrains. For example, we're introducing on the Q50 for the first time in the region a direct response hybrid powertrain, which for us is an important powertrain as we consider this electric motor, which we link to a petrol engine. We consider this electric motor as an additional source of power, an additional source of torque, and we can compare it to a supercharger, for example, so to achieve a certain level of sports car performance, but also with a very efficient driving.
What is the new technology in the Q50?
The most important one is a system called direct adaptive steering. It's actually a world's first technology, the first time we see such a technology on a production vehicle. It is a technology based on a by-wire system, which we already see on fighter jets, commercial planes, some concept car vehicles, but actually the first time on a production vehicle with the Q50. And it's a system that consists of eliminating the mechanical link between the steering wheel and the front wheels, and we replace that mechanical link by a wire. Actually, we transmit the data of the steering angle via this wire to two electric motors who control the front wheels. So by eliminating this mechanical link, we actually have a steering which is a lot faster, because there's no friction, there's no inertia, there's no torsion linked to the mechanical components. So it's a lot more responsive. We can actually claim that this system is the most responsive steering system on the market today. It also allows a very wide range of tuning in terms of steering ratios, so very light steering at low speeds and very firm steering at higher speeds. But also the driver will be able to select between different driving modes, different levels of effort, different levels of responsiveness for the steering. And finally, it also has the advantage that we can filter out some of the negative feedback coming from the front wheels to the steering wheel. Like for example, road vibrations. You will not feel the vibrations of the road in the steering wheel, so which allows for a more pure and a more precise and more direct driving experience.
The car is available now in the market.
And we expect the car to go on sale in the spring of 2014. At that time, the car will be available with two powertrains, a V6 petrol 3.7 litre of 320 horsepower and a 3.5 litre direct response hybrid powertrain with 364 horsepower, and a car that achieves an acceleration in 5.1 seconds, which is true in sports car performance. However, a wide choice of engines for the customer to choose from.
What makes the car different in this segment?
First of all, the fact that it's an Infiniti. You know, we're a relatively young premium brand, which makes us a challenger, you know, against German premium brands who have been on the market for almost 100 years or even more for some of them. Infiniti exists in 25 years, so we need to have a different approach, challenger spirit. And I think the Q50 really expresses this attitude or this approach with a design which is very expressive, very emotional, but also in terms of technology and powertrains, a very emotional offer that makes it stand out against, I would say, a rather conservative competition.
Is there any link between the Formula One and Q50?
Actually, the pedal shifters which you find on the Q50 Sport grade, so the pedal shifters behind the steering wheel, you find actually the same material for the pedal shifters that Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber are using in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is technology that actually has been provided by Infiniti to Red Bull Racing. The other way around, we have our director of performance, Sebastian Vettel, who has been involved in the development of the Q50. It was in the later stages. He actually drove the car for the first time. He drove a prototype for the first time a bit more than a year ago at our proving ground in Tochigi in Japan. We had a full day of driving there and a debriefing session with our engineers in the same way that he would have a debriefing session with his racing engineers during a Grand Prix weekend. So he provided several inputs and feedbacks, especially on the steering and on the braking, changes that were implemented on the vehicle because actually we updated the prototype, sent it to the Nürburgring in Germany, where Sebastian Buemi, the test driver from Infiniti Red Bull Racing, tested the car and validated the changes that Sebastian Vettel had requested. So there is a strong involvement from Infiniti Red Bull Racing via Sebastian Vettel into the development of the Q50.
بعد ما تعرفنا على سيارة Q50 الجديدة، هلا صار وقت ننهي حلقتنا عن سيارة انفينيتي فورمولا 1. انطرونا الأسبوع الجاي بسيارات جديدة للإكسبيرينس.